Hello, welcome back to another little live stream from the Fox. It's been quite a while. Just gonna have a quick look, see if people pop on or not. Don't know whether they will tonight. It's a Monday after all. Back here in the pub, Jode's on, I think, which is quite handy because I was going to talk about Jody if he doesn't mind. Because I've got some real ale. I haven't had any real ale in 5 or 6 weeks now since the pub shut, and I've been really missing it. I've obviously had so many lovely cans, and we've had kegs as well downstairs to get through, so we've been drinking that. Lots of deliveries from breweries, which has been brilliant, but I haven't had any real ale. And Jody very kindly dropped me 2 of these little 1 litre pots off last night, and I can't remember which beer it is I've got out of the 2. I think this might be a Buxton. No, I don't think it was Buxton. It was somebody like that. Anyway, it's a blonde and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's obviously come in a takeaway container, so it's not quite as lively as a normal pint of cask, but it is. It's so good. I've been missing this so much. So yeah, thank you for that, Jode. What I was going to say is, before we get started, quickly about that. Jody's got an awful lot of real ale to get rid of. Not get rid of, but to get through. He unfortunately... Oh, Framework Bravo. Lovely. Cheers, Joe. That's phenomenal. Hope you don't mind me talking about this. I think more people that know about it, the better. But Jody's got an absolute load of beer, which he's not going to get paid out for on his insurance as wastage. So we've got to get rid of it. We've got to get through it before it goes off. So he's tapping new casks every day. He's putting a list up. If any of you know Jody, message him and try and get on that Let's Not Waste Good Beer group. He's delivering it to people. They're taking huge steps to make sure it's all done sanitary and in the best possible way possible. There's a new list every day. I did touch on this weeks ago when they were doing what they thought was going to be the last one, and that was of all the casks that were already tapped. But now, as it seems like the insurance isn't going to cover any wasted stock, we're going to try and get rid of all of it. So yeah, message the Nags, or there's a donation page on his pub website, on the Nags Head website. The idea is you can order every day, they'll deliver to you, and you donate money to hopefully cover the cost of what beer he needs to get rid of and what it's going to take to restock him if we ever get to reopen. So the list is great. There was 5 or 6 of them to choose from last night or yesterday, and some of them have already gone. There's a new list up every day, so if anybody wants to know about that, get in touch or get in touch with the Nags. It's brilliant. They drop beer off to you. Like I say, I've got 2 of these little litre ones, and it's so nice to have cask beer again. You know, it just, I don't know what it is. It's probably a little bit cold because I put them both in the fridge. I was worried about them going off, but it's just lovely. So that's that. Please support them if you can. It's great to get some proper beer delivered to your house every day if you want them. Please do wash and give back the empties. Unlike Matt Kinnison, who was sat on about 1,000 of them last week. Yeah, so that's that. I've got some beers to review tonight. I promised you on the last stream that we'd do this. I was supposed to do this last Thursday, but we've been so busy with other things that I never got a chance. So tonight we're going to review. I've got this from Dougie. A lot of you will know Dougie. If you don't, he makes incredible home brew. He's got a great little setup in his garage with built-in keg kegerator in his fridge, which is great. He makes really, really good home brew. And I believe, Dougie, if he's on, this is his new dipper. So he left these on the stairs for me the other day. Oh, no, they didn't actually. We delivered roast dinners to him and we swapped. He gave me some of these. So I'm going to review that in a bit. I've also got this one, which I showed you last week. I thought I'd do 2 different styles. So this is Future State, who again are like bonkersly good home brewers. And if you check out their Instagram, it's well worth it. All electronic, sort of LA sort of, just brilliant. Have a look, and then they give you recommendations on what to do with it. This is the Great Decade, which is a maple deluxe stout. It's 8% and it was canned on the 23rd of March. He cans it himself as well, which is brilliant. And they pair this with music. I had problems saying this last week. Perturbator, Scandroid and Vangelis. And then they recommend what film to watch with it, which is The Running Man, Lost Boys or The Shining. So that's cool as fuck, isn't it? That's great. So I've already seen somebody else review this beer on another site and they absolutely raved about it. Like I say, the guys that do this are wonderful, get in the pub quite a lot, and send me a few cans every now and again for me to have a go on, which I'm massively grateful for because they're always brilliant. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I'll probably do that one last because it's a dark. I've got a hazy pale from them as well, but I thought I'd sort of do something different. Zev's asking what the yellow-green picture behind your left shoulder is next to the owl. Kerry's been talking about this today and saying you should get those. So these are like pictures my daughter did at nursery. I can't really.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So they're just they're like
print.
personal to us, you know. They were Violet did them. They're just like splodges of paint, but they were the first thing they ever did. So we put them in frames and put them up. These, my mother-in-law paints these. These are just little, really, Susan, if she's on, she's quite a talented little artist. So she sends us some stuff every now and again. We've got a load of flowers in the bedroom. And they were Christmas presents. Were they the owl and the cow? Yeah, but it's not. It's a big certain type of cow, that isn't it? I can't remember what that is. So that's that, Zev. That's what they are. Sorry, that's Violet shouting from the other end of the room. It's a Highland cow. That's a Highland cow, yeah. Kerry was trying to sort me out, putting some cool pictures behind me, but I love these, so we're keeping them here. So yeah, we're going to move on to those in a little bit. I'm still drinking the last of my real ale. Not the last, a bit of this one that Jodie very kindly sent me yesterday.
Just a quick question. The oven is on at a really high temperature. How much longer do we need to
I've got a time, sorry. It's the pork belly's in. It's on for an hour, really high. Then
so you've got a timer.
I've got a timer on, and we'll let that out. Violet, seriously, can you take the dog out, please? Because nobody wants to listen to that. So I've got to do this, which is a dipper, and then I've got to do this, which is an 8% stout, maple stout. So that's great. So we're going to get into them. I'm going to finish drinking the last of my real ale, which I have missed so much. What else? I've got some new merch. I'll show you that. That's the classic Run DMC t-shirt. There's loads of different versions of this in the beer world. Unity did one the other year, which I can't remember what they had on theirs, but I tried to order that off them and they didn't get it. But today I got a delivery from Track Brewing from Manchester, who are one of my favourites. I just love them, and I ordered a t-shirt off them because I love this. Because it's backwards, you can probably see this is Sonoma, which is this beer, which we get as much as we possibly can in the pub. It's just delightful. It's 3.8% hazy pale. It walks out the door. Everybody loves it. Yeah, and so we just so I did a little order with Track the other day, which turned up this just before we came on this, which I'm massively happy about. I got 2 other beers from them as well, which I wasn't quite... I was expecting one more beer, but I got two. And one of them I'm really happy about because... Oh, I did order this one. Kerry got it wrong. She thought I had 3 different beers because she was looking at them like that. Whereas if you turn them round, they're like that. Now, this is all together. This wasn't on the last live stream, but it was on my Instagram. This is a pretty special beer, but this is because it was brewed as a collaboration for people in the hospitality industry. And I opened it the other day and drank it, and it was absolutely brilliant. And it was hosted by Other Half Brewery, which is my favourite New York brewery, which is bonkers if you ever get the chance to go to there. They're in Brooklyn. They're so good. This one is the version that was brewed at Track, which I didn't know when I ordered it. So I'm massively happy I've got that. The one I had the other day was brewed in Greenwich by a brewer down there. I can't remember the name. This was brewed at Track Brewery, but all of these have been hosted by Other Half. So they set up this initiative, which is to celebrate people in the hospitality industry, and it was brewed with a host of breweries all around the world, maybe slightly different versions of what basically is an IPA. So they all did a 6.5% IPA. The one I had the other day was wonderful, so I'm hoping, well, it's Track, so it's going to be good. They don't make bad beer. Their Sonoma is like one of my favourites. If you ever get the chance to have that on cask, it's wonderful. I can't tell you how good it is on cask. It's brilliant on keg, but if you're in Manchester and you see that beer on cask, drink it, because it's a delight, absolute delight. So yeah, that's my little promotion for Track. Don't worry, I bought all of that. They didn't send it to me for free, and the t-shirt. So yeah, that's that. I'll pop them out the way. I may seem like I'm rushing a little bit, but I've got a pork belly in the oven, which I've got to keep an eye on. So I've got a timer on my phone for that. So I've got these 2 different beers. We're going to start with Duckies Dipper. So I've had quite a few different beers off Dougie, and they've all been brilliant. He dropped this to me the other day. Well, Violet picked it up when she delivered roasts. So, and he said, let it settle for a couple of days. Let it sit there. It's been in the fridge. I've just took it out of the fridge. So we're going to open this and see what it's like. So it's 8%. It smells wonderful. It wasn't very lively, but then, yeah, I think he only bottled it the other day. So it probably hasn't had, I hope he doesn't mind me doing this one tonight, because it probably hasn't had enough time to to get ready. Ross has just said he got battered on his last dipper. So yeah, they had a party up at Dougie's house when Dougie moved to Caversham, and everybody was drinking. Oh, Dougie's on. There we go. Here you go, mate. It's gonna have it open. I've just opened it. So Dougie, if you can you tell me what have you called this? If you've called it anything, is it 8%? And should I be drinking it now? Basically, that's what I want to know. We're going to anyway, so we'll give it a little pour. I mean, that looks great, doesn't it? For any of those, there's all this thing on. Oh, it's Demolition Derby. Nice. That looks beautiful. Look at that. All of his beers have looked really good. Really, really good. So, yeah, this is Demolition Derby from Dougie. Don't know what strength it is yet. He'll probably tell us in a minute. 7.9, he got it. Right, there you go. We're getting live updates from the brewer. I have got a bit of a blocked nose. I haven't got coronavirus. I think it's all the painting. I've got painting and sanding. I'm full of dust. So my sense of smell is not great at the moment. It's got nothing to do with the virus, before anybody says that. But it does, yeah. It smells great. Really hoppy. Let's give this a go. What hops are in it, Doug? Oh, that's gorgeous. Really nice. It's very, sometimes you can't see on the camera, it's very golden in colour. But it's not too caramelly. You don't get that. Oh, that's good. I think that's just going to get better, Doug. That's going to keep getting better, that one, I think, for a little while. It's very, very new. It was only brewed. I think, actually, Dougie was brewing it. So we've got Mosaic, Citra, and Amarillo. Well, there you go. You can't go wrong. Amarillo's in everything that I'm even drinking or reviewing or whatever at the moment. Yeah, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Doesn't taste like 7.9. It does taste strong. Don't get me wrong. You're not thinking this is a 5%er. But yeah, it does. I've had some dippers recently where the booze is just so prominent and it sort of blows you away as soon as you have a whiff of it. That's not like that, but it's very beautiful in colour. It's got a lovely little head on it. Considering it's in a brown bottle, and it is very cold because it's been in my fridge for a couple of days while I let it settle out. But yeah, well done, Dougie. That's another cracker, that. If you ever get the chance, hit him up, get some of his beer. I always think it's one of these days he's going to retire from his high-powered job and start a brewery. Him and Tim Lloyd, maybe. You never know. But yeah, that's really good. I always remember going back when we started our brewery, which is like 15 years ago, the state of home brew. Like, you know, I used to make home brew myself a long time ago. I started with my dad when I was a kid. And he used to get bought one of those kits, and we'd knock it up, and you know, it was never very good, was it? You know, it'd get you pissed because we never knew we didn't know what the ABV of it was or anything like that. And I did a load of home brewing before we started a brewery, but not a huge amount. It was a bit of a jump into the loop, and you know, we made some good beers. But I look at stuff that people are producing now, you know, now that everyone's not bothered about putting loads of crappy findings in them, you know, and you get these amazing hazy pales like that people have brewed in their garage. That's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and at that ABV as well. So that's delicious, absolutely delicious. I haven't really got any terms for it, if you know what I mean. If anybody watched any of my other beer reviews, they're not full of they're not like posh wine reviews where I've got a name for everything. Wet cardboard was one that I learned on bad beers the other week, but you know, on good ones I just love them. Yeah, that's all. I can only tell you what I like. That's the thing. I'm not a big Ponzi reviewer. I don't have you know, load of terms to use for them. It's a beer that if I was sat in the pub with a few mates, like that are on here now, or in our pub, or in the Nags, or wherever, and somebody gave me a glass of that, I'd go, oh yeah, that's right. That is banging. I will absolutely be drinking the rest of that in a minute, Doug, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that one to one side for a moment, which is hard to do because I really, really want to drink the rest of that. And I'm going to move on to this one, which is Future State Maple Deluxe Stout. Now, I'm going to put a little caveat in here. Number one, I don't drink a lot of dark beer. I have, in the last year or so, that has changed. I've been drinking a lot more darks. I've had a lot of beers with maple in them, and they're not possibly my favourites. There's that bacony sort of thing going on, you know, Omnipollo, all of that sort of stuff, you know, where they put whatever they bloody can find in their fridge in beers. Some of them work, some of them really don't. I had a terrible Omnipollo maple thing with Matty Crook that he brought in, which was just, oh, I couldn't even finish it. So it's not one of my, it's like smoked beers. I'm not a huge fan of smoked beers, but over the last year or so, where we've had a lot more dark beers on in the pub, after 9 years of running the pub, we've managed to finally have enough dark beer drinkers in to let me have a little play with what dark beers we have on. Because, for however many years before that, everybody used to say, oh, Durkin never puts any dark beers on, and I'd have the one or two people in the pub saying, you've never got any dark beers on. It was purely because we couldn't shift them. We didn't have the right drinkers in the pub at that time to move them. So it was either we were putting cask beer on and, you're getting day 3 or 4 and they're not quite so in such good nick, which I don't want to do. I don't want to put stouts on that, and then you're trying to sell the last little bit and it becomes a bit awkward. So I used to put them on for beer festivals, and most of the time I wouldn't bother. That has changed over the last few years in the Fox. As your clientele changes, we've got some dark beer drinkers now, so we can start moving through dark beers. Obviously on keg it's a bit easier because the sell-by dates are not, you haven't got 5 days to get rid of them, and really 3 to 5 days. Well, there's all sorts of debate about that, but realistically, in the last year or two, we've managed to shift a lot more dark beer in the pub, which in fact has allowed me to experiment a little bit more, and we've got through some really good stuff. So, but yeah, maple, I'm not sure about. Right, so we're going to try this. Again, I'm back with the double barrel glasses. They should become a sponsor of these live streams, shouldn't they? Double, Mikey and Lucy, do you want to start sponsoring these live streams? I don't think we've got anywhere near enough people for that anyway. Although we are getting a couple of thousand views on these vids after they go on our Facebook page and stuff. So you never know, might get picked up one day by somebody. Anyway, I'm going to pop this one. That sounds great. Popped, lovely. Bit of smoke out the can. Probably can't see. She's waiting to get out. Look, she's trying to get out there. I've just spilled that all over my new desk. Anyway, right, let's give it a pour. I mean, that pour's lovely. Look at that. When I do a close-up like this, there'll be beer reviewers and stuff going ape shit about what they call dirty glasses, because you see all the bubbles on the inside of the glass. Because the pub's shut, these are being washed through our domestic glass washer upstairs, and they don't have the same stringent chemicals as the one downstairs that strips all of that out. So yeah, you don't get, we tend to get these bubbly glasses, but that's all right. So you can see straight away, as with a lot of stouts at this sort of ABV, the head is dyed immediately. That's not necessarily a problem. Sorry, because I'm a bit blocked up, you can probably hear me sniffing a bit as I smell it. Like I said, I can't really smell a lot. Oh, Jesus. Holy Jesus. That's bonkers. It's totally bonkers. Yeah, see, they've got that right. Too many of these stouts with maple in them are too overpowering. It's like a Canadian Mars bar or something, sometimes. But that's really, really good. Yeah, there's no there's a bit of carbonation in it, but the head dies. If I had a decent nose on me, it would smell great, I'd imagine. But it tastes really, really good. There's a bit of maple, but it's not overpowering. And it doesn't... The other thing I have with maple is a lot of the times when you have it in beer, it tastes really artificial. It doesn't in that. It just sort of complements what's going on. All your dark malts. I don't know what hops they put in these things, but... It doesn't say. He usually does tell you what hops they put in it. But I suppose with dark beers, it's not quite as important. People are not generally that bothered, whether they're bothered or not. But I don't know. But that's really, really good. I know a lot of people who would love this. You know, I couldn't drink a lot of it, but at 8%, I'd be pissed, really. But that's like a little explosion in your mouth. Ian Clark would love that. Absolutely love that, you would, Ian. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so check these guys out on Instagram. Future State Brew. They make such good home brew. He does a lot of hazy pales, but, you know, when he does dark beer, I think it's something that he really likes doing. And that is incredible. Just so good. And the branding and all the little additions for a home brewer, that is just like ridiculous stuff. So, and the flavours in that are just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, yeah, that's the beer. Started on real ale, which I've drunk. On to Duckies Dipper, which I'm going to finish. And then finish with the maple stout. 3 on the go. I've got to cook a bloody pork belly in a minute. But, yeah, it's some incredible Run DMC style merch from Track. Loads of Track stuff. Yeah, and what else have I got to talk about? I've got loads of stuff to talk about, actually, which I might save for tomorrow, but I don't know. I did a little vid for Siren, which went up today, which was quite good. I need some video editing skills. I'm not very good. I've never really looked at that. I'm starting to play with stuff for our channel, for the Pub Finder channel, so we can upload stuff to that. And it's not just pictures of me going, Siren did a really good job of editing out all my today on their vid, which went up on their blog, which is about how we're coping during the crisis and stuff, which I really enjoyed doing. I enjoyed it once I got it right, because I did it twice and fucked it up. So that was great. We've started doing, which I haven't mentioned on the live stream, so we did a roast dinner delivery on Sunday. Now, I came up with that idea. We haven't done roast dinners in the pub for 2 years. There's a reason for that. It's because they're incredibly hard work, and they're also not very profitable. Most people think, oh, roast dinners is absolutely what every pub should be doing. They are such hard work. It's like solid 2 days, plus they are not very profitable, because you want to put the best meat, you want to buy the best veg, you want to do all of that sort of stuff. It's when you run a pub, like, your Sundays become very stressful, because you're worrying about orders and who's going to turn up, and people book and they don't come. You don't want to be one of those places that are taking money off people for deposit, but it became too much for us in the end, and we never did huge amounts here in the Fox. Our roasts were always incredible. My sister Patricia, shout to my sister, used to make the most incredible roast dinners here, right? When Tricia wasn't around, I cooked them, or if I wasn't around, Kerry cooked them. We all knew what we were doing. We've been doing it for years. You know, we loved roast dinners, but it became a point where it just dominated all of our lives on a weekend. It's all your Saturday, all your Sunday. So we stopped doing them 2 years ago. We've just run, you know, the pizzas and the chips and the wings and menu and stuff, which anybody can do in the pub. So that's become what we've been doing. But while we were shut on Friday night, I thought, well, sod it. You know, let's have a go. Let's see if anybody's interested. So we asked on various platforms, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, plus through a Foxy isolation group we've got, and we got bonkers amount of orders straight away. So we limited it to 40, and we actually delivered 42 roasts on Sunday, which was great. I don't know why that keeps flashing. I'm not sure what's doing that, and whether that's that stupid light up there that keeps interfering with that. You know, we didn't know how many we'd get, but very quickly we got loads of orders, and it was like, shit, now we've got to do it. So we made that happen. We did our first roast delivery on Sunday. The dogs just come up and nick something. And I think it went quite well. We've got loads of lessons to learn from it. Violet, can you take that? It's your telly. It just keeps flashing and annoying everybody. Sorry. So yeah, we did that on Sunday. We learnt some lessons. The greatest thing was waking up at 8 AM on Sunday to learn that our oven, which we obviously haven't used, commercial oven, which is downstairs during lockdown, was broken, which was great at 8 AM. But luckily we have a 4-deck pizza oven, so we cooked all our roast potatoes in the pizza oven. We cooked all our stuffing balls in the pizza oven, and it worked really, really well. I did all the meat upstairs in the kitchen upstairs, and we used all the various hobs around the place. Me, Sophie, and Kerry all did that. I did all the cooking. The girls went out and delivered, and I delivered a little bit. I did West Reading, and it was brilliant. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. We're doing a midweek one tomorrow, which is a quite simple Irish stew with beef and beef stew, Irish version with potatoes and homemade dumplings, which I'm doing tomorrow. It's a bit more simple, not quite as complex. Obviously, so much goes into a roast dinner to make it work, and we will have that better worked out for next week. We're hopefully gonna do 50 next Sunday. I'm not expecting huge amounts on the midweek thing. We've got enough to make it work. So we'll do that tomorrow. I love cooking stews. I really do. It's like a bit of a weird passion of mine. I like stews and casseroles. And no one in this house eats them, apart from Kerry. It's only me and Kerry. Kids never eat them. Jasmine might occasionally. So yeah, proper Irish stew with stout in it. Cooked properly tomorrow. We'll be getting them out delivered tomorrow afternoon. So if anybody's interested in the roast dinner thing on a Sunday, send me some messages. If you're interested in the midweek delivery, send me some messages. We've got a huge group already coming together for that. And I'll add you to the WhatsApp groups. And I think that's about it. I think we've covered everything. I'll probably remember some stuff. I haven't done one of these for a week, so I'm going to crack on drinking Duckies Dipper and the Future State Stout and go and try and finish cooking a pork belly. Thank you very much, and I shall see you soon. Cheers.